And hello, everybody. We'll just talk you up to 7 o'clock tonight. It's Grand Slam Wrestling action for you and the Grand Slam Wrestling match of the week. We're actually going to do two matches, as we always do when we do the Monarch of the Mat circuit qualifying, and tonight we're going to do Memphis and Houston and cover all the news that took place in the tournaments. 7 o'clock on Saturday nights, the new home, permanent home where we're going to keep Grand Slam Wrestling. I'll tape matches during the week and post them at beginning at 7 o'clock, and on the occasions I have a match to do on Saturday. We will do it live on Saturday. So, starting next week, I know one match we'll be doing Monday. I'll be doing Monday on tape. Will be Dory Funk Jr. defending the world title against Andre the Giant, or so we think right now, because we don't know who the world champion is, and I haven't revealed what has happened to the world champion yet. And I'll tape that, post that 7 o'clock next Saturday night, Lord willing, and if the creek doesn't rise. And then, depending on the length of the match and how long it takes to go through it, I will be on at the next 15-minute interval. So say the match goes 23 minutes, I'd come on live at 7:30. If it goes 32 minutes, I'd come on at 7:45, or and so forth and so on, and then do the live match. Otherwise, I would just show you one match after another as I tape them during the course of the week. The reason why we're going to a set schedule is I want to try my hand at doing some Twitch. Uh, and early in the week, on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I'm going to be doing Twitch streams, which will later be shown on YouTube. And I'm setting a schedule up so that we could do a specific game on a specific night. Wednesdays are going to be wild cards. Thursdays is going to be the interview series I do called The Meet, or it's possible that I just might take an off day those specific days. But there will always be action somewhere. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was correct. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I mainly do my Twitch feeds, although I do OOTP Perfect Team on Sundays too, and I try to do that during the course of the afternoon, or maybe as late as say 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Try to do it 4 o'clock or beforehand, and then we'll do YouTube live streams Friday with Grand Slam and Glory Days Boxing, Big Paulie's Fight Night, Saturday with Grand Slam Wrestling, and Sunday with the OOTP. So I'm just going to talk you up to the start of the stream officially. I moved my timer down to the lower center there. Doesn't that look nice? 3 minutes and 8 seconds before we get started. I feel like I'm at Mission Control in Houston, although they don't really use Mission Control in Houston all that much. I was watching the Rays game a little bit, which, as I record this, has not been concluded yet at 6:57. Sunday the 8th of May, Saturday the 8th of May. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, all of you with wives and mothers. Tomorrow, of course, is Mother's Day here in the United States. I don't know if they celebrate Mother's Day in other countries or how they do that all. But if you have, I'm sure all of you've gotten your Mother's Day gifts by now. I know I have, and going to have some nice food for Mother on tomorrow. So we're down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I have a couple of good matches for you, but as my wont to do, we're going to surprise you beforehand of who's in these matches. We'll do Memphis first, then we'll do Houston. With 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. Of course, Saturday is a big sports night, not only in our country but worldwide. I wonder how the fight is going with. There was a big fight in the lower weight divisions tonight. I know that. Fighter named Canelho or Canejo, something like that, and I knew he was fighting on the Zone, DAZN, tonight. I'll be curious to get a check with Al and see how that went. It was in Europe, but they've probably had it by now. We're down to a minute 5 left to go before we start the stream. I always like to come on and show you the time left before the stream so you could all queue up. Plus, it gets me a little warmed up and gets some nervous energy out of my way doing these. I was a little error prone last night doing 2 fights for Big Paulie's Fight Night. They both went the distance. And I erred in saying that rounds 8 and 9 of the second fight had the same exact score. They did not. And you could check the tapes for yourselves, or the streams, as they say nowadays. We're under 30 seconds, so stand by. Hello to everybody in chat already. This will be a good couple of bouts. I think you'll enjoy them. Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims proudly presents the Grand Slam Wrestling match of the week. In this instance, it'll be 2 matches as we go through the circuit qualifying a little more. Memphis and Houston will have their circuit finals right before your very eyes. And hello, everybody. Big Paulie coming to you this very fine 8th of May. Saturday, late Saturday afternoon here on the East Coast, a little earlier on the West. And if you are in Europe, it's already Sunday. So we have 2 qualifiers for you all today as we progress through the Monarch of the Mat tournament. And we will have, by the end of this broadcast, more than half of the field filled for that 18-man final stage of the tournament. And then once we go through the 18 circuits, we will play out the first round, probably have some bonus matches on that first card, and then we will have the round of 16, and then the last 8 compete on week 26 in St. Louis on the Super Card, and that's a one-night 8-man tournament, and we'll have some matches interspersed between the tournament matches. And that will be available opening bell to the final fall right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sim channel. 7 o'clock is going to be your home every Saturday night for Grand Slam Wrestling from here on out. We're going to make this a weekly series, same bat time, same bat channel every week. Champions roll call looking a little different. During the week in Atlanta, Antonino Rocca defeated Jerry the King Lawler to win the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. So Rocca is now the man to beat in the junior heavyweight scene. I'm sure there will be a lot of chase now that Lawler appears to be out of the picture for now. And let's take a look right now at the circuit winners. We've already had 8 qualify so far. 8. And we will crown the 9th and 10 finalists, or the champions of the circuit, right now. With this first bout coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee. Long distance information. Give me Memphis, Tennessee. And I will show you who had made the Memphis Circuit Finals. And speaking of Jerry Lawler, he's in it. He's in it facing Jake the Snake Roberts in our 60-minute circuit final. Lawler is the higher seed, despite the placing of the grapplers on your screen there. Lawler should be on the left side and Roberts should be on the right, but this is what happens sometimes. So let's go through the tournament particulars. We had 18 men in this tournament, and we began with a 3-man battle royal for the 16 seed, won by Scott Casey over Great Mephisto and Hans Schmidt. In the first round, Tojo Yamamoto drew with Robert Gibson in a mainly clean bout. Tojo advances for being the higher seed. He was 8th and Gibson was 9th. Nick Aldis won by countout over Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Match only went 46 minutes, so they went to a straight brawl. A lot of heel-heel and a lot of face-face matchups in this particular tournament. Ed Wiskowski he lost to the Destroyer. The Destroyer won by pin, 22-31 on an arm drag. Scott Norton advanced as he drew with Johnny Valentine. Valentine got a lot of cheers from the crowd in this match, even though he's now moving on to the Chicago circuit, and he's already drawn some heat with John Cena, and we will get to that in due time. Rey Mendoza from the Lucha Libre scene in Mexico made his debut in GSW, but he drew with Jake the Snake Roberts. Actually, no, I beg your pardon. Roberts won by DQ when Mendoza accidentally went low. Bob Armstrong over Brian Christopher. These two had a scientific match a few weeks back, which Christopher lost, and he loses this time. Jerry Lawler over Scott Casey, a pile driver, 1922. Lawler, not really simpatico with the fans in Memphis. He showed some heel tendencies. I guess he's kind of nervous, having lost the World Junior Heavyweight title about things, and he got cut open in the first bout, which injures him for the remaining bouts if his opponent was also not injured. We moved on to the quarterfinals. It was Sputnik Monroe. By the way, did I mention Sputnik beat drew with Hiroshi Tanahashi, and that took Monroe to the quarterfinals. So Monroe and Norton met, heel match. Monroe won by DQ at 16:50 when Norton went low. Jake Roberts heel with the Destroyer. Roberts survives via a foreign object and a pin at 32:20. Bob Armstrong over Nick Aldis, bridge suplex, 12:33. Jerry Lawler defeated Tojo Yamamoto. They were kind of both baby faces, but I think there's a lot of angst, a lot of pressure that Lawler feels internally, trying to win this tournament and trying to do good and get back in title contention. In the semis, Jake Roberts over Bob Armstrong. Sputnik Monroe lost to Jerry Lawler via countout, and this sets up our final. Lawler and Roberts, and we are all set to go already because I did this before the match. Records coming into this bout: Roberts is 4-0-2, Lawler 14-4-0. He saw a lot of action as World Junior Heavyweight Champ, because instead of fighting every month, he fight every week, and on this night he has already competed 3 times, as has Roberts. So let's get it started. Long odds for Jake Roberts, says Vogue, and Lawler 170 rating to Roberts 125. Has a shot, but I wouldn't count on it. Lawler comes in impaired because of suffering cuts earlier in the tournament. And we will close in here a little bit and get you started. So Lawler and Roberts, who had an angle 1996-ish in the WWE when Roberts was making a comeback and the heel Jerry Lawler was belittling him, always flashing some booze Roberts' way, which is kind of odd because in real life Lawler does not drink. So a struggle for control early, a leg drop by Lawler, and he gets the match off to the start. The fans are behind Lawler despite the trials and tribulations the night has brought. Legal neck hold by Roberts. No action. A suplex attempt by Roberts. Boom, he hits it. A 10-point deduction off of Lawler's stamina rating. Remember, Lawler is injured and impaired coming into this tournament match. First pin attempt does not succeed for Jake the Snake. No action. Illegal punches by Jake. No pin. No, that is not Jake from State Farm. Body slam by Roberts. So Roberts off to a good start in this Memphis circuit qualifying final. Body slam by Lawler, the King, trying to get it going here. Suplex attempt, which hits and is good for 10. Remember that Lawler does not have to win if we go to a time limit draw or a double countout or a double DQ. Lawler will advance to the final stage. No action by Roberts. Illegal punches by the King. You know he can throw them. And so far it's about even at the 5-minute mark. No action. Illegal forearm by the Snake. Ropes move. A ropes move. Flying forearm. No pin. Action happening outside the ring. A double countout. Despite the fact that I had set the DQ at minus 10, make sure the referee gives leniency. He does not. It's a double countout. Lawler will advance and wins the Memphis tournament. And already one match down and one to go. Jake Roberts will pick up 3 rankings points for the double countout, but that has to be a disappointing result for both men. But I'm sure Lawler will take it. So Lawler advances to the Memphis Circuit Final, to the final stage at the tournament. I beg your pardon. We'll widen out and show you the screen here. He will be the second number 1 seed to advance to the final stage of the tournament, and he joins Hulk Hogan. So Lawler and they will be coming back to Memphis in a couple of weeks, and you might see a Lawler-Roberts rematch, which won't mean anything because Lawler already wins the berth to the final stage of the tournament. Lawler stays at 150 with his ranking, and Roberts moves to 130. So that's how this ends, and I'm sorry that it ended that way, but we will now move on as I take a brief break to set up our next match and surprise that for you. Take a look at our little slideshow here while I do that, and I will talk to you all while I set this up and try to surprise you with who has made the tournament finals in Houston. We had a whole bunch of competitors in the Battle Royal because Houston, the promotion under the tutelage of our announcer Paul Bosch, has assembled quite a crew here. A lot of people want to compete in the Houston area, even though historically Houston was a one-city town, basically. And I am setting up the final finishing touches, seeing if either wrestler was impaired. Actually, I should go over here to look at that. No. Okay. And I am setting the impairments. Also, if you wrestle to a draw as opposed to getting a bye or anything like that, it also counts as a strike against you. And we'll go over why that is necessary when I reveal to you who has made the Houston finals. And this is a surprise because it's going to be a babyface match. It's going to be Red Bastien facing Wahoo McDaniel. Yes, Dory Funk did not make the final, and we will explain why as we go through the Houston tournament and summarize that for you. Chris Markoff won the 12-man Battle Royal. So we started with 27 competing, and 11 were eliminated when Chris Markoff won the Battle Royal. Last man he defeated was Cavernario Galindo, or Caveman Galindo. I'm going to fix that. Caveman Galindo from Mexico was the runner-up. Tony Atlas third, Tom Zank fourth. Pete Sanchez, our preliminary competitor, made an excellent showing, got all the way up to fifth. So that set up our first round. And in the first round, the very first match was Superstar Billy Graham against Mr. Olympia, who got cheers from the crowd. Graham won by pinfall 8:30. Gary Hart came out and announced that he will be managing the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Gary Hart, and trying to make a world championship contender out of him and try to take him to the world title. We'd come in handy in his next bout, but let's go through the other first round bouts. Fishman loses to Crusher Verdu. It was Leroy McGurk over Blackjack Lanza. Johnny Barron over Michael PSAs. Wahoo McDaniel and Pedro Morales went to a draw, 30-minute draw, and Wahoo moves up as the higher seed. Red Bastien over Paul London after a 30-minute draw. Dick Hutton and Eddie Graham went to a 30-minute draw. Hutton automatically advanced. And Chris Markoff drew Dory Funk Jr., the world champ, even though the match only went 30 minutes. So Markoff will pick up a boatload of points for that, 8. You get 6 for the 61-point margin and 2 for the draw. Funk does not lose anything. To the quarterfinals we went. Wahoo McDaniel over Johnny Barron, 22-39. A chair shot after Barron tried to introduce a chair into the fracas, and Wahoo was having none of it. Good technical battle between Red Bastien and Leroy McGurk. Bastien advances, and I did set this up right. Didn't I? I did. Okay. Bastien advances for being the higher seed. They went 45. And Bastien's going to come in fatigued, so I think Wahoo will have the advantage in terms of who will be the fitter in this final. Crusher Verdu over Dick Hutton in a bit of an upset. 7-13 faceplant slam, and this is what happened with the world title. Dory Funk Jr. lost by countout when Gary Hart stuck his nose in, and even though everybody's a villain, Funk Jr. did not like that. He chased Gary Hart around, and it was Graham winning by countout and only 354. That would mean Graham would get an automatic title shot at Funk, but in the semifinals, first Bastien defeated Verdu 15-45, and then Wahoo McDaniel pinned superstar Billy Graham 40 minutes 9 seconds with a snap mare. So McDaniel picks up Graham's title shot, and it looks like whoever wins the tournament tonight will get a world title shot. After Chicago, Dory Funk Jr. making a defense in Chicago against Andre the Giant, by the way. Wahoo or Red Bastien will get the next shot when Dory Funk Jr. comes into Chicago after tonight's developments. So we will start our final match, determine who gets the bid out of Houston. And this is one fall 60. And Wahoo doesn't back down from anybody, so this will be a tough battle for Red Bastien, the former World Junior Heavyweight Champion. And even the computer has a hard time figuring out who will win this match. So this ought to be a good one. Red Bastien, Wahoo McDaniel. If there is a draw, Bastien, as the 3 seed, would beat out Wahoo, who is the 4 seed. So on we go. Wahoo goes for the big chop right away, and Red was, even though he's a little fatigued, he was smart enough to avoid it. We move on. Kick by Bastien. Headlock by Bastien. So he gets the first 2 moves. Kick counter. Here's Wahoo. Legal chop. 8 points off. Bastien got to the semis on the basis of a 30-minute draw and a 45-minute draw. Wahoo had a 30-minute draw, and he took superstar Billy Graham 40 minutes, so both these guys got to be tired, although we think Bastien's a little more tired. Bastien, illegal arm hold, a lot of countering going on, and McDaniel is just throwing caution to the wind. He wants to get this tournament bid all to himself here. And he's firing away. Legal arm hold by Wahoo. Apologies will be thrown out later, I'm sure. Pin attempt. The first pin attempt goes Wahoo's way, but we continue on. Bastien pinned again? No. A pin attempt again, so Wahoo has picked up 2 very quick pinfall attempts. Bastien 1, 2, and 2 coming into tonight's match. Wahoo 2-1-1, and he just beat the man who beat the world champ by count out. Auto control loss. Body slam by Bastien. Illegal punches by Bastien. Pinhold. No. We move on. We're 6 minutes into the bout. Bastien has accrued the most damage so far. Arm holds used outside the ring. A disqualify check. Big chop by Wahoo. And Wahoo feeling his oats now. A kick. Throat chop by Wahoo. And that draws gasps from the crowd with Wahoo's aggressiveness. They're all going like that. More throat chops by Wahoo. Legal whip to the ropes. Another throat chop. Pinholds. Pinhold, no. Pinhold by Bastien. No. We're 10 minutes into the bout, and Bastien has already picked up a lot of damage. Kick by Bastien. No action. Throat chop again by Wahoo. Arm holds. Hearing a little smattering of boos right now for Wahoo. Arm hold by Wahoo. Illegal punches by Bastien. He's fighting fire with fire, and Wahoo comes right back, giving Red a little piece of his own medicine. Throat chop again by Wahoo. Disqualify check. Hey, both these guys going for the big bucks, so you gotta let it all hang out. Kick by Bastien. Bastien is cut. That's a 29 cut. The higher the cut damage goes, the more likely the bout will be stopped, which will count as a half a win for Wahoo or whoever who gets it. But even a half a win gets you to the final stage of this tournament. And chair shot to the head by Wahoo. Oh, doctor. He is letting it all hang out in this bout. Arm holds by Red. Stick and move by Red, the junior heavyweight champ, the former world junior heavyweight champ, doing his very best, knowing that Wahoo is carrying the bout to him right now. There's a 138-point difference in damage. Legal forearm by Red, turnbuckle move by Wahoo, ropes move, legal forearm by Red, punches by Red, pinhold, countered. Legal throw by Wahoo. Legal throw, not an illegal throw. Pinhold, sunset flip. And Bastien was not even fooled enough to have a pen attempt on him. He got out before they even get to one. Legal arm hold by Red. Sleeper. No. Red 19-19 in the bout. Wahoo's still the presumptive leader of the bout. Fan interaction. Fans getting behind Red. Auto control loss. Remember, Wahoo played his college football at Oklahoma and was famous for a very long punt he had as a footballer for Oklahoma. Also played defense and would go on to play for the Broncos, Jets, and Miami Dolphins. Legal throat chop. Wahoo keeps going to those chops, and Red's trying to slow the match down with arm holds. Body slam countered. Legal elbow, not an illegal elbow. Almost a pin there. We're 21-23 into the 60-minute time limit bout, and Wahoo's got to win it. Red survives and goes to the final stage on any kind of non-win. Legal throw by Wahoo, illegal punches by Wahoo, illegal throat chop by Wahoo. A body slam. Bastien is pinned. Red Bastien is pinned. Wahoo has made it to the final stage of the tournament in just 23-26. The 4 seed has moved on. Wahoo by pin, and that is 4 more points to the good in the rankings for him. He probably gets a title shot out of this. Body slam did the deed. Final numbers 236 and 29 in cuts for Bastien, 85 for Wahoo. That was the damage he took. And this was a 3.5-star match. Well done, guys. Both men seemed awfully tired, but surprisingly, Wahoo had enough endurance, as I write this down, to carry the evening and advances to the final stage. So we will be with you again as I widen out and show you the full screen, which I already was at. Okay, maybe I just never went to the close-up screen. But regardless of which, we now know our 9th and 10th finalists out of 18 in the Monarch of the Mat Circuit qualifying. Next week, we will have for you the world title defense of Dory Funk Jr. He gets Andre the Giant. Andre has done everything in GSW except win the world title. And we will have for you live the Dallas Circuit Final next week. Sometime thereafter, the showing for the first time, which will be 7 o'clock, of the Funk Andre match. So I hope you all enjoyed it. We went a little over 30 minutes on this live stream. And of course, it'll be available on YouTube. Thanks to all of you who've dropped by or will see this in the very near future as I record it. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well, helping you all have a happy and healthy weekend, Mother's Day weekend in these next couple of days. Godspeed and God bless. And as I always say, we'll do it